Hey everyone, today we've got a showdown that's been brewing for a while now. The Dell XPS 14 versus MacBook Pro 14 versus Asus ROG Zephyrus G14. It's the battle of the laptops, and we're here to help you decide which one is worth your hard-earned cash in 2024. We'll be diving deep into the specs, design, performance, and everything else you need to know to make an informed decision. So make sure to stick around until the end of the video because we'll be revealing which laptop we think is the ultimate winner. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're excited for this showdown, and check out the links in the description for more information on each laptop. Now let's get into it. So the Dell XPS 14 laptop, let's dive in. First off, this thing starts at $14.99, but don't get too attached to that price because let's face it, most of us are going to want those sweet upgrades. And those upgrades, well, they can quickly turn this sleek machine into something that's playing in a whole new price bracket. When you lay eyes on the XPS 14, it's hard not to appreciate its vibe. It's got this premium feel that screams, I'm here to get things done, but I'll do it in style. The design is all about that minimalist aesthetic, with an invisible trackpad that's both slick and a bit mysterious. Plus that LED light strip and unique keyboard, they're like the icing on this tech cake. Now let's talk about the display. The base model comes with a 1900 by 1200 screen, which is okay, but not mind-blowing. However, if you're lucky enough to snag an upgraded model with the 3200 by 2000 OLED display running at 120 Hz, well, that's where the magic happens. Seriously, this thing looks fantastic. But it does make you wonder why they didn't just include this level of display from the get-go, especially with that price tag. Brightness? Check. Vibrancy? Double check. This display is up there with the best of them, hitting up to 500 nits and boasting thin bezels that make you feel like you're diving right into whatever you're working on. And with Dolby Vision and that sweet 120 Hz variable refresh rate, everything just looks smooth and vibrant. Now let's talk power. The Intel Core Ultra Meteor Lake processor is the heart of this beast, with a dedicated neural processing unit that's all about handling machine learning tasks like a champ. This means more performance, less power consumption, and a laptop that's ready to take on whatever you throw at it. But here's the thing about the GPU. The base model comes with an integrated Intel Arc card, which, let's be real, is not exactly inspiring. If you want to kick things up a notch for gaming or performance-heavy tasks, you're going to want to drop an extra $300 for the GeForce RTX 4050, 6GB card. It's a shame it's not included, but hey, at least the option's there. Speaking of design choices, let's talk about ports. You won't find an HDMI port or a full-sized SD card reader here. Instead, you get 3 USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports, a micro SD port, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. It's a bit of a trade-off, but hey, they do throw in a USB-C dongle to help you out. All right, let's get tactile. The trackpad, it's invisible and oh so smooth. Seriously. Why hasn't this design caught on everywhere? And the material? Top notch. Just don't go touching it with greasy fingers, all right? Now the keyboard, it's a bit different. No spacing between the keys. They're all just there. But they're big enough to feel good under your fingers with a satisfyingly shallow press. And quiet? This keyboard is whisper quiet, even when you're typing up a storm. All right, let's talk about the MacBook Pro 14-inch with the M3 chip. This thing isn't just a laptop, it's a showcase of what Apple's M3 chip can do. First things first, this laptop comes packed with power, especially if you opt for the high-end M3 Max processor. We're talking brilliant performance here, folks. The M3 Max configuration is a beast with its additional CPU and GPU cores, not to mention the massive 128GB of RAM. Yep, you heard that right. This thing can handle pretty much anything you throw at it, from hardware-based ray tracing to fast neural network tasks. Even the base M3 model is no slouch, offering advanced features for those who don't need quite as much power. Design-wise, Apple has nailed it as usual. There's even an option for a fingerprint-resistant space black finish, which is a nice touch. The keyboard on this MacBook Pro is highly praised, making typing a breeze. And let's not forget about macOS Sonoma. It's like having a Swiss Army knife of operating systems ready for whatever you need to do. This laptop isn't cheap, folks. If you're just working on standard files or doing some light gaming, the MacBook Pro 13-inch with the M2 might be a better fit. But if you want the best of the best, the MacBook Pro 14 M3 series has got you covered. Whether you go for the base model or the M3 Pro and M3 Max configurations, you're getting top-notch performance. Now let's talk about the screen. It's a 14-inch liquid retina XDR display, which means you're in for a treat. Colors pop, details are crisp, and everything just looks stunning. However, for some folks, a 14-inch screen might feel a bit small. If you're used to larger displays, this could be a downside. Oh, and let's not forget about the ports. This MacBook Pro doesn't skimp in that department. You've got plenty of ports for all your devices, which is a big plus. All right, let's talk about the Asus ROG Zephyrus G14. This laptop is a bit of a chameleon. Sure, it's a gaming laptop, but it might just win over the professional crowd with its solid hardware and some surprising perks. First off, let's address the elephant in the room. This laptop is sleek. I mean, it's like Asus took a page out of Apple's book with the design. The shiny silver finish gives off major MacBook vibes and the 2K OLED display. It's like something straight out of a high-end Apple laptop. Speaking of that display, it's surrounded by these thick black bezels that actually make the colors on the screen pop even more. It's a nice touch and adds to the overall premium feel of the laptop. Now let's talk about something near and dear to my heart, the keyboard. Asus didn't disappoint here. Each key has this slight indentation that guides your fingers just right, and the typing experience? It's a dream. Even the function keys have some cool tricks up their sleeve. For example, the F5 key kicks the internal fans into turbo mode, which is handy when things start heating up. Speaking of heat, let's address the laptop's one major flaw. It can get hot. The fans are located at the bottom, which helps keep the laptop slim, but it also means heat can get trapped. If you're planning on some heavy-duty gaming or work, I'd recommend investing in a laptop cooling pad to keep things in check. But here's the kicker, the battery life. You'd think with that OLED display and all those lights, the battery would drain in no time. Surprise, surprise, it's actually one of the best batteries I've seen on a laptop. I'm talking 10 hours straight of non-stop YouTube streaming. Most laptops tap out at 6, so this was a pleasant surprise. Under the hood, you've got an AMD Ryzen 9 8945HS processor and the GeForce RTX 4060 graphics card. The CPU? Impressive. It handled everything I threw at it like a champ. The GPU? Well, it's decent, but it might struggle a bit with heavy gaming sessions. Now let's talk about the not-so-great stuff. The bloatware. Yep, this laptop comes packed with it. Sure, some of it is useful, like the Armory crate for controlling those sweet RGB lights, but there's a lot of forgettable apps taking up space on the SSD. So who's this laptop for? Well, I'd say it's a fantastic option for most people. Gamers will appreciate the hardware and the customizable RGB lighting. Professionals will love the stylish design and that incredible battery life. But if you're a hardcore gamer looking for raw power, you might be a bit disappointed by the RTX 4060 and the bloatware eating up your SSD space. The price? It starts at $1,600, but my review unit was $1,900. It's not cheap, but considering what you're getting, a sleek design, solid hardware, and that killer battery life, I'd say it's worth it. And there you have it, folks. We've explored the Dell XPS 14, MacBook Pro 14, and Asus ROG Zephyrus G14 in depth, and now it's time to declare our ultimate winner for 2024. After careful consideration, weighing the pros and cons, we've decided that the MacBook Pro 14 takes the crown. Its brilliant performance, sleek design, and long battery life make it a standout choice for both professionals and enthusiasts alike. But remember, the best laptop for you ultimately depends on your specific needs and preferences. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this comparison, and check out the links in the description for more information on each laptop. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, happy computing.